You've probably heard the same money advice in school. Spend less than you earn, save for a rainy day, invest for the long term. Sounds simple. So why do so many smart people stall out? Because the rules change as you level up. The tactics that help at the beginning aren't the same ones that work at mastery. Today, I'm going to walk you through a clean path from beginner to mastery across 4 areas: debt, spending, investing, and portfolio management, so you stop guessing and start compounding. Keep listening if you want a framework you can actually use this week. Let's start with the lightning rod: debt. At the beginning, treat debt like a live wire. It looks helpful, it looks harmless, and then it bites. Credit cards and impulse loans drain 2 ingredients you can't replace easily: discipline and time. Discipline, because easy credit removes the friction that keeps you from buying things you don't need. Time, because every month you shovel cash into a hole instead of into assets that grow while you sleep. If you feel stuck under a balance right now, your first win is to build barriers. Line up a basic emergency fund. Automate minimum payments plus a fixed extra amount on your highest rate debt. Freeze the cards if you have to. Boring, yes. Effective, absolutely. What comes next is more interesting. As you advance, debt stops being a monster under the bed and becomes a controlled risk. You still respect it, you just stop letting it drive. There are 3 big debts normal households touch: cars, education, and housing. Each needs a hard limit. For cars, keep a rule that forces modest choices: meaningful down payment, short payoff window, and a monthly payment that doesn't crowd out investing. If you can't meet those constraints, the car is too much car. For education, cap total borrowing around what a realistic first-year salary can cover. You want your degree to unlock doors, not lock you into a payment plan that dictates your life for a decade. For housing, anchor cost to your gross income, not to emotion or lending maximums. You want a home, not a hostage situation. These guardrails protect you from your future self when enthusiasm is high and math is low. At mastery, debt becomes a tool chainsaw useful, chainsaw dangerous. You use it deliberately to accelerate something productive: stable real estate with conservative assumptions, a business with traction, or high ROI skills you validated. You run pre-mortems before you sign what has to be true for this to work, and what breaks first if it doesn't. You stress test the plan with higher rates, lower income, and slower growth. If it still pencils out, you proceed. If not, you wait. Tools don't make you wealthy. Skilled use of tools does. Keep that in mind as we shift to the habit that turns income into options. Spending is not a moral issue, it's a systems issue. In the beginning, focus on one job: create margin. Margin is the gap between what you make and what you keep. If there's no gap, there is no investing, no freedom, no compounding. The fastest way to create it is to audit your last 60-90 days and commit to eliminating recurring leaks before fighting over lattes. Subscriptions, renewals, quiet fees, cut them. Then lock in 1 or 2 high-yield cuts that don't reduce quality of life: cheaper phone plan, insurance reshop, renegotiated rent, or housemate. Every dollar you free up becomes a soldier that deploys every month. This isn't forever. It is a bridge to stability. As you advance, precision beats willpower. Budgeting isn't punishment. It's telemetry. You don't need 27 categories and a color code. You need to know reliably 3 things: how much hits your accounts, how much leaves, and what changes when something unexpected shows up. Use a simple flow. Pay yourself first into long-term goals. Automate fixed bills. Funnel the rest into a single card or account for variable spending. Add sinking funds for predictable non-monthly hits, car maintenance, annual insurance, gifts, travel, so they stop blowing up your plan. Most people don't fail at money. Their calendar fails them. At Mastery, you graduate from micromanagement to cash flow autopilot. You set an explicit savings rate first, not last. For many households, the long-term target is around a quarter of gross income going into future you. But you can ramp there in steps: 15%, then 18%, then 20%. Every raise, every bonus, an incremental notch higher. Once the autopilot is fed, you spend the rest guilt-free. You still review quarterly to adjust for life changes, but you stop living in spreadsheets. The machine runs. You steer it. Now, investing. The beginner mistake is waiting for when I can afford it. Time is the multiplier. You can't buy later. Start tiny and automatic. Even small amounts compound if you start early and stay consistent. The goal in this phase is not optimizing return, it's installing the habit. Payroll deduction into a diversified fund does more for your future than analysis paralysis ever will. If that sounds underwhelming, good. Wealth is often quiet action repeated without drama. As you advance, you build a simple, scalable allocation and protect yourself from your own psychology. That means broad, low-cost index exposure across major asset classes and a contribution plan that doesn't care whether headlines shout boom or doom. You automate increases each year, and when your income rises, you internalize one rule that has saved more retirements than any hot stock tip. Timing the market beats timing the market. You can't compound if you keep stepping out of the compounding machine. Also, understand the math of your savings rate. If you start later, you need a higher percentage. That's not a judgment, it's physics. At Mastery, you tie investing to a life you actually want. Numbers serve goals, they don't replace them. You estimate a freedom number based on spending you control and risks you can insure. You choose a reasonable withdrawal framework, and you back solve for the portfolio required and the savings path that gets you there. Now, your portfolio expression gets smarter. Tax location across pre-tax, Roth, and taxable, deliberate placement of assets, and a rebalancing policy that harvests volatility instead of fearing it. You're building a system that converts earned income into ownership and then into durable autonomy. That's the job. Let's tighten the lens on portfolio management, because this is where many people overcomplicate and underperform. Early on, keep it brutally simple. If you have access to a target date index fund with low fees, it's a one-ticket solution that handles diversification and slowly reduces risk as you age. Set contributions to autopilot and move on. You don't get bonus points for complexity that doesn't change outcomes. As you advance, complexity shows up naturally. Multiple accounts, a spouse's plan, taxable investments, maybe equity compensation. Instead of reacting ad hoc, use a sequence for where the next dollar goes. Cover short-term safety first, capture employer match, eliminate truly expensive debt, max high-leverage tax shelters, then expand. This order keeps you from overfunding the shiny thing and underfunding the high-impact thing. Add a simple written policy, target allocation ranges, when to rebalance, and what triggers a change. If you don't write it down, you will invent a new rule every time markets twitch. At Mastery, small edges compound across years. You think in buckets of time and buckets of tax. Pre-tax accounts for income you expect to be taxed lower later. Roth for dollars you want compounding tax-free. Taxable for flexibility and opportunity. You align asset classes with the right bucket. You use tax loss harvesting opportunistically. You manage concentrated positions with a planned scheduled sales, charitable strategies, collars if appropriate, so your future doesn't depend on one ticker's mood. And you monitor behavior risk, because the greatest drag on returns is usually between the ears. The line between a disciplined investor and a gambler is written in process. Zooming out, the full path from beginner to mastery is 5 moves repeated with increasing force. Automate, allocate, eliminate leaks, escalate contributions, and defend behavior. Automate so your best decisions happen by default. Allocate using broad, low-cost building blocks. Eliminate leaks in fees, interest, and taxes you don't need to pay. Escalate your savings rate every time your income moves. Defend behavior with rules you commit to in calm moments, not volatile ones. Money isn't a test of intelligence. It's a test of consistency. Now, let me connect this to real-life decisions you might be weighing right now. Thinking about a car? The right car is the one you can buy without delaying financial independence. That usually means reliable, used, modest, and paid off fast. Considering graduate school, price the degree like an investment. Expected earnings lift, probability of landing the role, time out of the workforce, and debt cost. If the math works on conservative assumptions, proceed. If it only works with perfect outcomes, pause. Eyeing your first home, ask 2 questions before anything else. How long will you stay? And what's the true all-in monthly cost at realistic rates and taxes? If staying power is short or all in, cost crowds out investing, rent longer, and stack cash. Ownership is sweet. Overstretch is bitter. What about markets being too high or too risky? Markets are always something. High, low, sideways, euphoric, panicked. Your edge is not predicting moods. It's controlling inputs you can actually control: your savings rate, your costs, your diversification, your taxes, and your behavior under stress. If you get those 5 right for long enough, the scoreboard takes care of itself. If you get those wrong, no prediction model will save you. Let me talk briefly about mindset, because it's the quiet multiplier behind every tactic. At the beginning, you need urgency to start. A small, automatic plan beats a big plan that never launches. In the middle, you need patience to continue. The second year of consistent investing feels boring. Good. Boring compounding is not a bug, it's the product. At mastery, you need clarity to finish. Know what you're aiming at. If you can define enough, you can recognize it when you reach it, and you can start buying back your time on purpose rather than by accident. If you're listening and thinking, I've made mistakes, welcome to the club. Everyone in the arena has. The difference between people who get free and people who don't is not spotless execution. It's shorter recovery time. If you drifted from your savings plan, restart today. If you took on too much debt, build the payoff and automate it. If you froze during a market drop, write your future self a rule you'll follow next time. The goal is not perfection, the goal is progress that survives contact with real life. Let's pull the 4 threads together into one weekly routine you can run in under an hour. 10 minutes. Scan accounts for fraud and bill spikes. 10 minutes. Log contributions. Did your automatic savings run as scheduled? 10 minutes. Scan upcoming expenses and top up sinking funds. 10 minutes. Review debt paydowns and confirm no new balances crept in. 10 minutes. Read one high-quality source on markets or taxes to expand your edge. 10 minutes. Write a 1-line improvement you'll implement this week. That rhythm compounds too. A quick word on career capital, because the highest ROI investment most people ignore is their own earning power. Early on, stack skills that widen your optionality: communication, data literacy, basic scripting, domain expertise in your industry. In the middle years, stack leverage: systems, leadership, negotiation, and reputation. At mastery, stack transferability, advisory ability, strategic judgment, and networks. Why include this in a money talk? Because a single well-timed skill can lift your income by 20–50% and compress the time to freedom by years. When income rises, keep your lifestyle one step behind your pay. Let net worth sprint. Let lifestyle jog. If you want a simple scoreboard to track over the next 12 months, track these. Savings rate climbing quarter by quarter. Total debt dropping consistently. Fees you pay falling. Cash buffer holding steady. And a written investment policy you actually follow. If those 5 numbers move the right way, you are winning, even if social media says otherwise. Before we close, let me leave you with a mental model for decisions that feel hard. Ask 3 questions. What is the upside if this works? What is the downside if it doesn't? And can I survive the downside? If you can survive the downside and the upside is meaningful, proceed small and fast. If you can't survive the downside, change the plan or wait. This keeps you bold where bold is smart, and conservative where conservative is wise. You don't need a miracle to master money. You need a system you can repeat when you're tired, busy, and distracted. Start with barriers that keep bad debt out. Build margin and automate savings. Invest broadly, cheaply, and consistently. Upgrade your portfolio process as life complexity increases. Tie the whole thing to a number that buys your time back, then keep going. Wealth shows up slowly and then all at once. When it does, it won't feel like a lottery. It will feel like the most normal thing in the world because you built it brick by brick. If this resonated, pick one action before the day ends. Increase your automatic contribution, cancel a recurring leak, write your simple investment policy, or map your freedom number on a napkin. One action today beats 20 intentions tomorrow. Your future self is already thanking you.